Where did you park it? 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 228 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and tonight I want to talk about what happens when the lights go off, but the mind refuses. When old places and old feelings come back like they never felt, and how all of it becomes part of a quiet archive we just carry around. Before we start, as usual, if you end up liking this episode, remember that liking and subscribing are really welcome. They're just one click, but they really make the difference for me. Thank you very much for considering it. So, you know that moment before sleep when you finally lie down and the brain goes, "Oh, perfect. Now let's tour your whole life?" That's where I was last night. No agenda, no plan. I just wanted to go to sleep a bit earlier and I started thinking of faces, apartments, streets, the kind of details you forget until they turn uninvited and somehow more vivid than when you lived them. Out of nowhere, I was a kid again when I just arrived in Rome. New building smell, sharp August sun, the echo of my footsteps in a stairwell that felt too big for me. I can still see the kitchen tiles, hear the clatter of plates, feel that strange mix of fear and possibility. Mobile felt like a wave. I wasn't steering it, just learning how not to fall. Overall, besides all those details, something that I really thought about was the moment when I went to sleep. My bed, that exact moment. It's something that accompanies all of us. There is no single person in this world that hasn't lived that experience, and should I say, not more than twice in a row in the same place. It's something that we all share, and I find it fascinating how it's possible to have such a habitual action in your mind, something that happens every single day. And every single day it's different because your day might have changed, your experience might have varied compared to what you wanted to do, how the day went. But overall, we all end up in the same place, sleeping in bed. So I started thinking, what were other moments that I slept in? When was the last time that I felt anxious before going to sleep? When did I feel joy? And bit by bit, while again lying on my bed, I realized that many of these occasions were so vivid in my mind, but I never thought about them. I, for example, went back to the many school trips that I did, to the fact that I shared my room with colleagues, with friends, moments when I moved into another house when I was in Rome, when I started university, when I did my first exam. So many of these moments filled with so many emotions were absolutely present in my mind. It's stuff that I remembered immediately after thinking about it, yet it felt like something that, if I didn't think about it in that exact moment, would have never come to my mind. So I realized, what can we actually understand from this? Is there a lesson that I can bring home and, of course, share with you? And I think there is. The beauty that these moments all share is that they are all very different in emotion, as I just described to you, but at the same time, they are all parked in a very specific place of our head. They are placed in an archive that just basically sits there and collects dust. Let's be honest. Try to do this experiment with me. When was the last time that you thought of the action of sleeping while you were, going to sleep? Where was the last moment in which you felt joy, fear, anxiety? Again, every person is different and we all have different routines when we go to sleep. But as I said, it's something that we all need to go through. So it makes sense that you want to feel and have some control over it. And in fact, there's people that have to rely on external tools to be able to go to sleep, be it with having some tea before going to sleep, using sleeping pills, white noise, podcasts, maybe this exact moment, the shower podcast, you're listening while going to sleep. But overall, I find it so interesting how something so common, something so present in all our lives, from childhood all the way to our last day on this world, it's so hidden, even though it's in plain sight. It's there every moment. Again, I found it just incredible how I had this memory and this experience in my head. It's not like I started inventing it, but I never thought of them. I think that was the first time ever in my whole lifetime, or at least that I can remember of, in which I realized that. So this is the lesson for you today, and something that I would really like for you to try at home. Tonight, when you go to sleep, try to think of this. Where was the last time that I felt in a certain way while going to sleep? I would be glad if you would be able to share it in the comments, but even if you don't feel like it, really, journal it, think about it, but try to take accountability for that, because those are important lessons. Because the way that you dealt with it, especially if it happened a lot of times, shows you a lot of the progress that you have made and the person you have become. Maybe you were troubled having sleep in a certain moment of your life and you overcome it. The fact that you did that shows a very big sense of strength and also capacity to deal with problems. It's not something you should skip on. And I have to say, I was again so surprised of all the things that I was able to just pick from my brains once I started going through this archive. So hoping that all this talk will end up improving your sleep and not worsening it, I will have that was all for today. Really excited episode, and I know it was a complete stream of consciousness. I realized that, and I hope that it made sense. I have to admit that I had a script at the start of this episode, but simply the desire to speak and to describe this feeling that I had was so strong that I completely went off the rails, and just wanted to share with you the enthusiasm about this, because I really think it's something that it's worth reflecting on. And the fact that we are not doing it regularly, and I've never heard about this, is just mind-blowing to me. Having said that, again, thank you very much. Let me know in the comments if you agree or not with my thoughts. And until the next one, stay consistent, stay resilient. This was the Shower Podcast, and see you tomorrow.